Hello everyone. Today we will discuss how to find gradient of a straight line. Straight lines have equation of the form y is equals to mx plus c, where x and y are coordinates of any point which is lying on the line. Every point lying on the line would satisfy that equation. M is the gradient which we want to find and C is the y-intercept. Intercept means wherever the line crosses the axis. So C is the y-intercept means wherever the line crosses y-axis. Now let us discuss about gradient. Gradient means steepness or the slope of a line. If you want to find the steepness, you would require two things, the vertical and the horizontal distance. The vertical distance is also known as the rise, means how high the line is, and the run means the horizontal distance. Okay, rise and run. So definitely if it is rise, it belongs to the y-axis. If it is run, it belongs to the x-axis. Now if a graph is given or if a straight line is given, how to find gradient in that? For that you would require only 2 points. Any 2 points which are lying on the line. Okay, not here and there anywhere in the graph. The points should lie on the line. You can take any 2 points you want. So suppose I am taking this point. So the coordinates of this point are 3, 1, and another point I am taking is this one, and the coordinates here are 1 and -1. You can take any other 2 points as well, you will get the same answer. Now as gradient is rise upon run, means how high and how far. So how high means you require this distance, this is how high, right? And you also require this distance, how far, how high and how far. Now if we write coordinates of this point, coordinates of this point would be 3 and -1, right? If we name these two coordinates, whichever coordinate lies above in the line is our second point, and whichever coordinate lies below is our first point. So if this is the first point, this will be my x1, y1, and if this is the second point, this is my x2 and y2. Now if I look at this point, this is actually my x2 and this point is actually my y1, right? So let's say this is my x2 and that's my y1. Now for the rise, I need this distance. So how do I calculate this distance? This is from here to here, from this point to this point, means -1 to 1. -1 से 1 पे you have 1 and 2 centimeters, right? The difference between these two coordinates means from here to here. And then for the run, you would require this distance, means from here to this point here. So this coordinate is 3, this coordinate is 1, here this coordinate is -1 and this coordinate is 1. Now the distance between these two is, if I want to write it, it would be my y2 minus y1. From here to here we are finding the difference. So whichever is the second point, from where you will go to the origin. So y2 minus y1, this can be written as y2 minus y1. This can be written as x2 minus x1, right? So this is x2 minus x1, means my rise is y2 minus y1 and my run is x2 minus x1. So instead of rise, I can also write y2 minus y1, and instead of run, I can write x2 minus x1. Now if we place values in this formula, my y2 is 1 and my y1 is minus 1. So 1 minus 1 upon x2, which is 3, minus x1, which is 1. So 3 minus 1, which will give you 2 upon 2, that is 1. So gradient of this line is 1. The value of m here is 1. Now if you take any other 2 point, would you get the same answer? Let's check. So let us say this time I am taking this point and this point. Now which point lies above in the position? This one, right? It is above than this point. So this is our second point, means this is x2, y2, and this one is my x1, y1. You just have to remember that whichever point lies above is your second point. Now my x2, y2, the values of my x2, y2 are 2 and 0. Remember to write the ordered pair in order, otherwise everything would be ruined. And my x1, y1 are 0 minus 2. Now let's check whether we get the same answer with these 2 points or not. So again we are going to put this in the formula, y2 minus y1, which is 0 minus 2 and x2 minus x1. 2 minus 0, which would give you 2 upon 2, which is again 1, the same answer. So see, you can take any of the 2 coordinates which are lying on the line and you will get the gradient. You just have to remember that whichever point lies above is your second point, that is your x2, y2. Put the values in the formula and you will get your answer. So I have 2 lines here. I want to find gradient of both the lines. So again we are going to take any 2 points on the line. Okay, so let's take any 2 points. So I am taking this point here. Coordinates of this point are 1 and 5, and I can take this point here. Coordinates of this point are -1 and 1. Again we have to remember whichever points lie above is our second point. So this point lies above, so this is our second point. It means this is our x1, y1, and this is x2, y2. Now what was the formula? The formula was, m represents the gradient, and the formula is y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Which is the y2? The second point, the point which lies above. So y2 is 5, y1 is 1, x2 is 1, and x1 is -1. So x2 minus x1. So this will be 4 upon 1, negative and negative, positive. Same signs will give you positive answer. So it will be 2 and 4 upon 2, which is 2. So the gradient of this line is 2. You can try it with any other 2 points as well. You will get the same answer. Okay. Now let's look at the next line, which is this. Now again we can take any 2 points lying on the line. So let's take this point, and the coordinates of this point are 1 minus 2. And we can take another point. Let's take this point, and the coordinates of this point are minus 1 and 4. Again, which one is your x2, y2? Which one is your second point? The point which lies above. So below is the first, above is second. So this is my first point, means x1, y1. That's my second point, x2, y2. Again the formula, y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, the rise upon the run. So the rise here means the vertical distance between these 2 points. So y2 is 4, y1 is minus 2. And always put brackets whenever you get a negative coordinate. Then your x2 is minus 1 and your x1 is 1. So here we have 4 minus minus 2, which becomes 4 plus 2, which is 6, and negative 1 becomes negative 2, which will give you negative 3. So the gradient of this line is negative. Negative means the line is falling downwards. See, here the gradient is positive, it goes up. Here the gradient is negative, so the line goes down. The sign shows the direction, okay? But you do not need to worry about it. You just have to remember, take any 2 coordinates lying on the line. Then the above point is your second point. The point which lies below is your first point. x2, y2, x1, y1. That's it. Just put the values in the formulas and you'll get the correct answer.